Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a little while, I know. Life just sometimes gets in the way. um, I haven't still, I guess the people that are returning viewers here, I am still dealing with the same issues that I have been for the last couple of months, but I have a full physical coming up on Thursday with, the whole thing, blood work, EKG, all that fun stuff. So we'll see what happens after that. It's just been a nightmare. But anyway, so I made myself a cup of coffee and I am ready to talk about something that has been on my mind since I heard of it, which was just the other day. Now, did you guys ever fall asleep like watching YouTube and you know how it just auto plays based on like your preferences and whatnot? Well, you guys know I'm like a true crime junkie, so I woke up to this horrific story that I had never heard before. And I'm really shocked that I had never heard it before because it's one of the worst things I've ever heard ever. Like, I mean, as far as like true crime goes, I've heard of lots of, horrible cases, but this one, whoa, ugh. I think I found the like absolute worst family in the world. Maybe. I mean, I maybe that's pushing it. Maybe not the worst, but like among the worst. It's bad. It's really bad. So anyway, what I woke up to was a documentary called well, it was called Goodnight Sugarbabe, but it's not really about the person who's Sugarbabe. So it's about this young lady named Vera Jo Riegle, and she was like brutally murdered. It happened a while ago. I think it was back in 2011. Forgive me here. I was pretty much thinking I'm just gonna like tell you guys the story, but I had to have like an article up just so that I could make sure that I get the dates right and stuff. Yeah, this is telling like the whole like life story. So I believe it was 2011 that the murder happened. But let's start off with the story of Vera. Now, this documentary, hi Willow, this documentary that I watched was really, really good, really well made. Like, they had some brutal, like, photos of the, like, crime scene and stuff that I really kind of wasn't expecting. It was like, whoa, what did I just see? I mean, it was horrible. And, because this is, like, this story has, like, a giant cast of characters, like, around it, Vera herself, I felt kind of got lost in that. Like, I was a little bit upset that they didn't spend more time talking specifically about Vera. I mean, it should have been, like, the title of it, Goodnight Sugarbabe, that's Sugarbabe is the woman, basically, that orchestrated her murder. So, like, I kind of just feel like it should have had something, well, I guess it does, that is sort of, like, it does have to do with Vera, because Goodnight Sugarbabe was probably the last thing that she ever said. Well, that she said, like, while being in her house. Anyway, excuse me 1 second, I apologize. My nose is runny. I don't know what's up with me this time of year, but, like, not even this time of year, it's always with me. Like, I don't know what it is. Constantly with the allergies. Anyway, So, Vera Jo was, she was mentally challenged. I don't want to say, like, there was nothing, like, technically, there's no, like, technical term for, like, what she had or what her condition was, but they say that her mentality was, like, an 8-year-old child, even though she was, like, 24 when she was murdered. She didn't have an easy life, like, ever. Like, even as a kid, she was, like, sexually abused, physically abused. Her actual biological father was doing those things to her, and he actually went to prison for it. And then mom gets a new boyfriend, and he does the same thing to poor Vera Jo. So, horrible story. She had a sister. I'm not really sure if the sister went through the same things as Vera Jo did, but, you know, it was pretty horrible. She was, like, such an innocent person. Like, she just... I really, like, even at 24, it was like she was, like, a child. Like, you had to, like... You know, like, the common sense wasn't there, and... etc., etc. Like, she just wasn't... She wasn't capable of, like, being on her own. She would have to, like, have either a caregiver or live with family or someone that would be able to take care of her. She was receiving, like, a disability SSI, I guess. So she had, like, a monthly check, I guess, that she would get. So, the... The story goes, like, it's going to revolve around this family, the Brooks family. What a nightmare this family is, you guys. I'm not even kidding. I haven't seen that many YouTubers go at this case. I don't know if it's just because they haven't heard of it or because it's, like, so horrible that they don't want to talk about it. It's really bad. Like, there's some, like, torture and some horrible things that happen in this story. I'm going to say that right up front. Like, if you're squeamish or whatever, you might not want to listen to this whole video. I would actually suggest check out the documentary, Goodnight Sugarbabe. It's free on YouTube right now. I don't know where it started off, but like I woke up because it was autoplay on my YouTube, and oh my god, it's horrific. All right, so the Brooks family, the matriarch, the woman who, like, is at the head of the table, I guess, is her name is Cheri Brooks, like, Cheri, and that's who they call Sugarbabe. Now, the reason they call her Sugarbabe is because it's disgusting. When she was a child, her father used to, you know, molest her, rape her, whatever, and, he called her Sugarbabe. Like, that's, like, his, like, pedo name for her, and she, like, grew to, like it. She loved her dad, and, like, that's twisted and sick in a way that I can't even imagine. Like, I don't know anyone who was molested by their dad and fell in love with him like this woman did. It's disgusting. Like, she went on to get married to this guy named Kevin Brooks, and freaking daddy lived with them, like, until he died, and he would, sometimes kicked the husband out of the bed so that he could do it with the daughter, and the husband was like, okay. Like, what kind of see what I mean? Most messed up family in the world. Cheri had, like, I think it was a total of, like, 9 kids. The first, like, 5 were taken away by social services because she was not only molested, she became a molester. She was molesting her own children. Like, I can't even. Like, there's a part in the documentary where Vera's mom is talking, and she's saying about how, like, this one time she walked in on Cheri with one of her little boys, and she was, like, bathing him, I guess, in, like, the sink, because he was an infant, like a baby. And she said she walked in on her holding the baby up like this with his doo-doo in her mouth. Like, oh my god, like, she was on a baby. Oh god, it's so disgusting. I can't. Blah. Okay, so this is kind of the person that Cheri is. Cheri Brooks, okay? Sugarbabe. Now everybody calls her Sugarbabe. Her firstborn child, his name was Scotty, and his father is her fucking cousin, okay? I'm not even kidding. And Sugarbabe, like, lights up when she's telling the story about, oh yeah, we were the kissing cousins, oh, we had a relationship. I seriously, like, she talks about it like it's the most normal thing, and, like, we should just be like, oh, that's cool. You know, I don't know how these people that were interviewing her didn't, like, vomit all over the floor. Like, oh my god. And I think out of the whole Brooks family, I think there's maybe one mouthful of teeth. Nobody has, like, she's got, like, the one tooth in the front. Cheri, like, oh god, it's scary. I don't know. I just, I can't. So anyway, let's see. So yeah, she's got Scott is the oldest, and then she had a little girl named Maria who she lived with her for a year before she was taken away, because she, of course, somebody was doing stuff to her, because there was like blood in her diaper, and like, I don't know. Yeah, they figured out that somebody was actually raping a child that was under the age of 1, under Cheri's care. Like, and apparently Maria was like the baby that Cheri really like was obsessed with. So when they took this one away from her, it was like a really big deal. Like, really big deal. So she had another baby girl who she named Cheri. She named her baby the same name as her. That's just sick. And that child died. I don't know if it was like SIDS or what, but she's dead. And then, yeah, so then she ends up with these, like, she has a bunch of boys. Like, there was, let's see. Well, here, let's see. Cheri was born in 1962, Fostoria, Ohio. Now, yeah, this, whole thing takes place in a town called Findlay, Ohio, which I had never heard of. Like, when I woke up and it was in the middle of this show, like, I was like, wow, this gotta be like Kentucky, West Virginia, like, I don't know, like, I really didn't expect Ohio, because I don't know, like, it seemed like, you know, when you hear, like, the, I don't want to be, like, discriminatory or whatever, but, like, you usually hear, like, the hillbilly type lifestyle, you think of, like, you know, those, states that are kind of in that area. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm saying, Kentucky, West Virginia, Alabama, Arkansas, like, that area is where I think that stuff mostly, like the cousin loving and all that weird stuff. Ugh, I don't know, but anyway, Findlay, Ohio. She was born in Fostoria. She grew up in the abusive home, and when she was 3, her and her 3 siblings were taken away from her father and put into foster care. So she grew up in foster care herself. Her parents were divorced in 1978 when she was 16, and she went to live with her mom, Charlotte. And Cheri said that, well, Cheri had told her that she had a baby and that the foster care system took the baby. We don't even know if that was true. Cheri's caseworker, a lady named Sandy, told Charlotte that Cheri's a habitual liar and she lives in a fantasy world, and whatever she wants to believe, she just decides that it's reality. And Cheri had a really large extended family. The cousin on their mother's side, Daniel Bixler, that's the one that they were the kissing cousins, and they had Scotty. That was 1981, Scotty was born. They lost custody of him, of course, because he was being abused by Cheri. Ew, again, with the playing with the little boys. Ew, 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 ew. So yeah, he was actually placed with Charlotte. Ended up with Scotty. And then, so sometimes in the following months, Cheri met this guy named Mike Maloney, and they got married in 1982. She had her second son, Joshua. Again, they took the baby right away. Cheri and Mike were to be supervised for the safety and care of, well, it says, due to the circumstances, Scotty Hancock's, okay, they didn't take him right away, but they were monitoring, supervising them. They moved into a filthy and disgusting trailer, and it says, though she was eligible for WIC, she refused she just didn't show up to the appointments, because this kind of like, she was like a lazy bitch, you know what I mean? She didn't want to do, like, honestly, like, the bitch was, like, everybody that was in that house was, like, on disability for some reason, and she was just collecting checks, sitting on her fat ass, and I'm not even kidding, like, look, I don't want to body shame people, but this chick, wow, she is a big, fat pig with one tooth. I'm not even kidding. She is absolutely disgusting to look at, and she's a disgusting human being, like, I swear to God, I'm not even playing, like, watch this shit. You'll see what I'm saying. It's gross. Alright. So, she wasn't showing up for the appointments, and she got kicked off of WIC. And then, of course, without that funding, the baby, Joshua, was, like, starving, basically. Because, you know, Cheri didn't care about nothing but herself. and they started giving him cow's milk. And he was, like, having serious stomach issues, and he was really colicky and kind of, you know, very difficult. Nonstop crying, all that stuff. So she was all, you know, stressed out, frustrated. One night in November 1983, Mike flipped out, slapped the baby in the face, cursed at him, and threw him on the couch. And Cheri sat there and watched. Luckily, baby Joshua, it says another family member was present and reported the incident to Children's Services. So, and then when she was questioned, Cheri did admit it. You know, that's Mike was slapping them around and everything. And then Mike had slapped her several times and slapped Joshua because he made Mike nervous. I don't know what that means. Cheri admitted to never intervening. She just let it happen. Baby Joshua was removed and placed in protective custody December 9th of 1983. So, yeah, she had that baby for a year, roughly. Cheri and Mike were supervised by Children's Services, hoping that they could turn their lives around and get the baby back. They never changed. Cheri didn't give up. 1984, she had Michael Jr. Michael, again, allegations of abuse, neglect. And again, Michael was removed when he was only a few months old. Michael ends up, he's one of the people that was in the house later on. Scotty, too. Like when Vera was there later on. 1986, Cheri has Maria. Like I was saying before, Maria, like Cheri was obsessed with this baby. She was really attentive. She was really caring. Maria was clean. She had pretty dresses. She was well fed. Cheri was literally obsessed with this baby. Things were looking up, but then, boom, here comes the cycle of abuse again. Like I said, I touched on it briefly here, but here, I'll read this to you here. The day before Easter 1986, Cheri's dad called his sister Wanda to inform her that he was taking baby Maria to the hospital. The girl was bleeding from her vagina. According to Charlotte, someone had raped little Maria. When Cheri changed her diaper, it was all bloody down there. I can't even fucking imagine. This is a baby. Like, who would do that? Who would, and it's, when I think of, you know, a full-grown man putting that into a little tiny baby, I swear to God, I want to puke. Like, what the hell? You know what I mean? So anyway, that night Maria was treated and returned back into the care of her parents. And Cheri was required to make an appointment to see the doctor the next day. She agreed, of course. The doctor called the police and told them everything. And Cheri told her mother that she should take the baby home for the night. She didn't understand why the police arrived at Cheri's home looking to remove Maria when they didn't find her. Cheri refused to tell her where she was, which was with the mother. It didn't take police long to figure it out, and by 6 a.m. in the morning, Maria had been permanently removed also from Cheri's custody. Thank God. It was never determined whether it was Mike or Cheri who had done that to Maria, but most suspect it was Cheri, because she never let the baby out of her sight, and Cheri never saw Maria again. Now, I can't understand that. Like, Cheri don't have a dick, but, you know, still, like, how could she do that to her precious baby that she loves so? I don't know. This woman is fucked up. I'm not even kidding. You're gonna be like as pissed off as I was because she's not in jail. Let me just put that out there. She is not in jail for what she did to any of her children. She's not in jail for murdering Vera. She's not in jail. Yeah, it gets. You'll see what I'm saying. It's horrible. She did some time, but not nearly enough. I feel like she should be in jail for life. Okay, so yeah, Cheri apparently was, like, inconsolable and never the same after Maria was taken. So, she did exactly what you would expect she did, and she went and had another baby, and this one was Cheri, the baby she named after herself. And then, just like Maria, Cheri was really well cared for, but, again, didn't end the abuse, and before she was 6 months old, she was permanently removed from the home. Again, neither Joshua, Maria, or Cheri ever saw her again. And now, I thought they said baby Cheri passed away, but maybe I'm wrong. I hope that I am, but I don't know. So Cheri and Mike divorced in 1993, but she had her 6th child before that happened. On 1991, she had Kevin Lee Punky Brooks Jr. Now, Kevin became, like, well, his nickname was Punky, and he really did kind of become like head of the family. Like even Cheri was afraid of him. Like he would, you know, they would all get in line behind Punky, right? He was the child of Kevin Lee Brooks Sr. Now we don't know if Cheri and Mike were separated when she got knocked up by Kevin, but we're not sure. But anyway, Cheri and Kevin eventually got married. That's who she's still married to right now. He's in and out of jail. I mean, of course. Are we surprised? They're all in and out of jail. The kids, all of them. So yeah, baby Punky she was allowed to keep him, finally. Don't even know how it happened. And then June 1992, she had Zachary. And then July 93, she had Garth. And 97, she had Chuckie. So these are all the kids that she kept. So these are all players in the Vera story. Alright? So Punky, he had like a violent streak. I mean, like, big time. Like I said, he scared her. He scared Cheri. And Cheri ain't scared of nobody. So yeah, Punky was the only one that could get Sugarbabe to do what he says. And now this part fucking makes me laugh, because Punky was a Crip. You know, when I think gangs, I think badass gangs. I think badass ghetto boys. You know what I'm talking about? Like, there's a certain idea in my head when I think of gangs, and it's not redneck scumbag meth head losers from middle America. I don't think of them as being Crips or Bloods or any gang members. But Punky was a Crip. So it says. So, because Punky was a Crip, the whole family thought they were a Crip. And it was, like, fucking hilarious, because there's all these pictures of Cheri, her big fat ass, with, like, a backwards hat and, like, throwing gang signs. It's fucking ridiculous. I'm not even kidding. And I will, if I can find the pictures, I'll put them up here for you, because, oh my god, I just laughed my ass off. I'm like, look at this bitch trying to play. Oh, she's such a poser. She's all like, and I don't know how it is, but like, it's like one finger like this, and she's all like, you know, I don't know the gang signs, but fucking ridiculous. And there's a picture of like each one of the boys doing that dumb shit, except maybe like Scotty. I don't think Scotty has. And Mike is so fucking creepy, you guys. Like, he's got one of those like, I don't know, like nervous tics or something, where like, he has this fucking creepy smile after every sentence. Like, he'll be, like, talking about something horrible, and he'll be like, it's, like, so weird. Like, you got it. I'm not even kidding, you guys. Like, if you watch the documentary, you'll see what I mean. This Mike dude, he's like, yeah, and then they took her to the, train track, and then they like, took a knife, and then they stabbed her, and then there's blood everywhere. It's so creepy, this fucking smile, right? So this creeper dude has this wife. Her name is Shannon. Shannon is enormous. I'm sorry. I'm telling it like it is. I feel bad. Like, you know, I really do. I don't like to talk about people that way. Like, I don't like to... But she is a big, big bitch, alright? And, I mean, beautiful face, don't get me wrong, she really is pretty in the face, but, like, she's big. And that creepy husband, ugh, like, throughout the documentary, they're, like, pretty much interviewed together, like, they're sitting next to each other on the couch, and, like, he's being all weird with his creepy smile, and she's just, like, the shit that comes out of her mouth, I can't believe it. Like, I sort of, like, in the beginning, I liked her, but then, like, as it went on, I hated her more and more, and then I watched her police interview. She lied her ass off to those cops, and I was so mad. Like, she had a lot more to do with the Vera thing than I realized from the documentary. So yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so Punky, like I said, he was like a Crip. And then all of the brothers after him were also in the gang. So, yeah, Punky, and then Zachary, and then Garth, and then Chuck. Now, I didn't see Garth much. As a matter of fact, I don't think they even interviewed him in the documentary. I don't remember seeing Garth, but they did have Garth's ex-girlfriend, and she's just a little thing. She looks like maybe she's, like Hispanic. No, I don't know, maybe Italian. Her name's Gina. But yeah, when she was 15, she was dating Garth and got pregnant. And like, look out, because babies with Cheri, like, she has an obsession with baby girls for some reason. She got all of her boys with her, but her only 2 daughters were taken. So like, she always wanted to have a baby girl. Like, and I don't know if she wanted to have a baby girl because she enjoyed raping them, because she did that with Maria. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's so hard to think about. Like, I don't understand her obsession with baby girls, and I don't know if it was, I don't know. But anyway, so now that Cheri's not having baby girls, she wants her sons to have baby girls, and she wants them to then like give these baby girls to her. It's fucking sick, right? And now, mind you, they all live in this disgusting house with a pet pig who lives in a closet, but that eventually got taken because the house was too gross for the pig. Alright? Like, animal control said, you can't have this pig because the living conditions are not good enough for a pig. Y'all, I'm telling you. So, yeah. Picture this. It's this, like, I mean, it's a 2-story house. It's not huge. It's on the corner of, you know, in this little town. Right across the street is the Salvation Army, and they would go over there every day for, like, the soup kitchen, like, free meal. Like, because they're, oh my god, all of them are on SSI. All of them go to Salvation Army to eat. They probably are all on food stamps. They're, you know what I mean? Like, they are nothing but sitting there sucking up government benefits and doing nothing and being losers and obviously smoking meth, because I swear to God, like I said, out of the whole family, there may be one mouthful of teeth. Like, one set of teeth among all of them. Like, they each have, like, 1 tooth. Well, actually, Shannon looks like she has okay teeth. And Michael, and actually, I can't remember about Scotty. But I swear, they all are, like, creepy as hell, okay? And, ugh. So anyway, so, Sunday, July 4th, 2010, there was a single vehicle pedestrian injury crash in Findlay. There was a 32-year-old man named Eric Calvin, who was driving a 2007 Saturn. And Punky was 19 years old, and he was walking northbound on County Route 220. Mr. Calvin's vehicle struck Mr. Brooks with the passenger side of the vehicle. Mr. Brooks was taken from the scene to Blanchard Valley Hospital by EMS, and he passed away. So Punky died, okay? Now, when Punky died, forget it. Cheri went fucking batshit crazy. Like, I mean, she was already batshit crazy, but, like, I mean, crazier. At the time, Punky had a girlfriend named Heather, which, that's funny, that's my name. And Punky's girlfriend Heather was a heroin addict, and they were on their way to go get her some heroin when he was hit by the car. So, somehow in Cheri's head, it was Heather's fault that Punky got hit by a car. It didn't matter where they were going. He got hit by a car. You know what I mean? Like, but it's her fault because they were going to get her drugs. If they were going to get his meth, it wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? Whatever. So Cheri turned it around and, like, got a cousin of hers to, like, beat the living shit out of Heather because Heather is the reason why Punky's dead. Well, whatever. But, I mean, actually, Cheri told the cousin that Heather pushed him so that she would beat him up. Like, beat her up. That's fucking sick, okay? And, like, later on, this story somehow gets changed, and all of a sudden it's Vera that pushed Punky. Like, fucking ridiculous. Vera's not even in the picture yet. Alright? So, Punky, dies, and they get the ashes, and they make, like, this little, like, fucking shrine to him in their, like, living room area, I guess, and, like, they would leave little gifts for him, like cigarettes and 40s and blunts and, you know, whatnot, and, like, there were, like, Crip scarves, you know, blue scarves and bandanas, that's what I meant, bandanas, and, you know, like, photos and all of the pictures of them with the fucking gang signs, you know, and, like, people would come by and, like, pay their respects to Punky, I guess, and somebody left him a candy bar, and I'll get to that later, because, Fucking crazy. Alright, so after Punky died, the next oldest son is Zachary. And he's only 13 at the time. And Cheri, somehow they meet Vera Jo. Like, I mean, they're all from the same town, right? And I guess Vera, like I said, she's like the mentality of an 8-year-old, but she's like 20, I think, or 19 or 20. And Zachary's only 13. And Cheri tells him, you're going to get her pregnant because I need a baby girl. So, like, they are dating. And, of course, like, with Vera's little issue, she she thought, like, that it was going to be, they were going to get married and be together forever. It was, like, the best thing that ever happened to her. And, like, it's also kind of gross because, like, he was still a child. But it's not really, I don't really see it as, like, molesting because her mentality, you know what I mean? Like, she was, like, in her brain, she was younger than he was. You know what I mean? So, as it's kind of, like, gross, but it's not, in a way. But anyway, she gets pregnant. Yikes. Okay, so now Garth gets his girlfriend pregnant. That's Gina. And she's only 15 years old. And Vera's pregnant with Zach's baby. And, so, you know, Cheri's over the moon. Now, Michael gets married to Shannon, but Shannon has, you know, she's not having a baby yet for some reason. I don't know if she planned to later or what the deal was, but, like, yeah. And, Scotty was around, kind of, but, like, he was living in the house, but, like, he was the only one that was really kind of, like, nice to Vera, so Vera, like, looked at him as kind of being, like, a savior kind of person. I don't know. That's just the idea that I get from it. Like, Scotty was, like, even in the interview, you can tell that he's not, like, hardcore. He's not, like, a Crip, you know? He's like, kind of calm. Maybe because he's, like, his parents are cousins. Maybe he's a little slow. Maybe that's why he was so nice to Vera. I mean, I'm not sure, but it wouldn't surprise me. Because he does. He just seems like he's more mellow than the other ones. So anyway. Yeah, Marcy was the name of the girl who beat the shit out of Punky's girlfriend because, you know, she pushed him. Ridiculous. So yeah, Cheri's made a reputation for herself around town. She was selling meth. She was a bully. She was a manipulator and a pathological liar. People used to refer to her as Charles Manson because her family, you know. So Gina. Yeah. Now, Gina's only 15 years old. And she had this job working in this little shop on, like, the main street and whatnot. So once she was pregnant and Cheri knew about it, like, she started having her sons completely stalk this poor girl. Like, they were following her out of work, like, stalking her while she was at work. I think she even lost her job because of it. Like, it was ridiculous. And, so, like, and now normally you would say this is not a good thing, but, like, Gina herself says, like, I'm kind of glad that she had a miscarriage. And after she miscarried Garth's baby, she went with her mom to Kentucky and left. She was out. I'm done, you know? So she was free and safe and away from the whole Brooks family, because yikes, what a nightmare. So Vera gets moved in, as you know, and she's pregnant. So, and throughout the whole pregnancy, like, everybody was treating Vera really nice. Like, Zachary was, like, you know, really nice to her because she was having the baby, and Cheri was really nice to her because, you know, that all she wanted was that child, okay? Now, Vera was due in December, and there's, like, this old wives' tale that, like, to induce labor, you need to just have, like, a tablespoon or a couple tablespoons of castor oil. Well, Cheri Sugarbabe decides that she wants her baby, her grandbaby, you know, Vera's baby, to be born on her birthday, which is in November. So, like, she wanted her to be a month premature because she wanted them to have the same birthday. Are you kidding me? And I'm not even playing. Like, this is the part where I woke up. Like, like I said, I woke up and this was on my TV and I was like, I got sucked in. But yeah, this is the thing. I wake up to hearing about this. They made this poor girl drink 3 bottles of castor oil. Yo, that's disgusting. I don't know how she did it. Like, I would be puking my guts out. That's some nasty, nasty shit. And, sure enough, she goes into premature labor. Now, this poor baby is a month premature just because this selfish bitch wanted them to share the same birthday, and they were off by a day. She was born the day after. Sugarbabe's birthday was the 3rd, and Vera's baby was born on the 4th. And they named her Willadean. Willadean. That's so, like, rednecky. But it's cute, though. I like that name, in a way. I wouldn't name my kid that, but it's cute. So, and oh my god, let me tell you something. This baby was absolutely beautiful. Now, Cheri's kids are all kind of fucked up looking, but Zachary has these really beautiful blue eyes, and so did Vera. Vera had really beautiful blue eyes, too. So this baby, oh my god, you guys, I'll put some pictures up, like I always do, but oh my god, I check out these beautiful blue eyes. Oh, such a cute baby, and like, she looks like a little angel. She really does. So, once that baby was born, boom, everything changed. Vera was a piece of shit. All they did was treat her like a servant from that point on. She wasn't even allowed to touch her own baby. Cheri had that baby all the time, and Vera, like, if she picked the baby up, Cheri would beat the shit out of her. She, they had some rabbits outside in, like, a pen, and I guess there was a tarp over the pen that was being held on by these, like, bricks, right? So, one day they go out to clean the rabbit pen, and frickin' one of these, bricks fell off and hit Cheri in the foot. Now, Cheri turns this into, Vera did it on purpose, and fucked up my feet, and Zachary beat the shit out of Vera, because Cheri told him to. Beat the shit out of Vera. Like, black eyes, the whole bit. Like, they really did, and it was her baby daddy, Zachary, that did it. And he beat the shit out of her repeatedly. Because every time, you know, Cheri wanted something done, Zachary was, okay, bow. Unbelievable. Like, so sick. So anyway, yeah, after that happened, now also, mind you, now Cheri is enormous and disgusting and has terrible, hygiene. You could tell. She always looks filthy. Her feet, because of diabetes, are all fucked up. You know, and they're, like, all bandaged, and always, like, every night, Vera had to, like, clean her feet. Oh my god, I can't even imagine. And the bitch is always in a wheelchair. Like, and I believe now she's, like, always sitting on a toilet. Like, blah. That's what I heard. I heard that, like, she sits on the toilet all day long now. Like, just because... I don't even know why. I don't even... Ugh. But anyway... So, like, there's a picture, of poor Vera, like, the look on her face, like, as she's doing Cheri's feet, she's like, I feel so bad for this poor girl. Oh my god, they really treated her horribly. Like, I mean, they treated her like a slave, for the most part. Like, they were making her sleep on the closet floor with the pig, while they still had the pig. And then once the pig was gone, her bedroom was like a closet. And, she, got to the point where she would just be in there all the time. Like, she was, like, so upset and miserable that she would stay in there unless Cheri called her for something. Like, she just was depressed and sad and, you know, I guess happy to be able to, like, see Willadean, but she wasn't allowed to play with her or hold her or take her to the park or anything. Like, she wasn't allowed to be her mother. And, like, everybody told Willadean that Sugarbabe was her mom, you know, like, Zachary acted like he wasn't even her dad, you know what I mean? Like, he acted like he was her brother. Just very sad story. So, and, you know, Vera she wanted to please them. She was always trying to make them happy. Like, and then, like, and people in the neighborhood did notice, like, Vera with these black eyes, and one time they beat her so bad, and then they took her with them over to the Salvation Army, like, that the people that were working there made the comment that, oh my god, look at her face, it looks like she went through a windshield. But they didn't call the cops, they didn't, you know what I mean? Like, ugh, it's so sick that people knew what was going on, but they didn't stop it. And, like, the police did go there a few times, because people, you know, I guess some people did say something like once in a while, and anytime the police would go there, Vera would tell them, I'm happy, I love Cheri, she takes care of me, you know, like, and Vera's 24 years old, so the cops were kind of in a situation. They can't make her leave. She tells them she's fine. There's nothing they can really do. It's a very sad situation. Very sad. So, yeah. So, as time went on, and, things kept getting worse and worse for Vera, you know, getting beat up every other day. And there came a point where, Cheri decided that it was time for Vera to go. She was just done with her. She wanted her gone. She wanted that baby all to herself. She was done with Vera. And, she, like, the father, Kevin Sr., her husband, he was going to do, like, 30 days in jail for some dumb shit he did. And he actually told them, like, wait until I'm in jail if you're gonna kill her, because I need an alibi. Like, that's fucking sick, alright? So, that's the kind of person that he was. He didn't give a shit about anything, like, or anybody. Like, but he was afraid of his wife, you know? Like, they were both afraid of Punky, so when Punky was gone, like, forget it. Cheri was, like, on the warpath, and everybody had to listen to her. So anyway, Kevin goes to jail, and around that time, the cousin that messed around with Cheri, that's Scotty's dad, he has another kid. Now, his name was Danny Bixler, and Danny has a Danny Bixler Jr. And now Danny Bixler Jr. was, wow, like, hardcore scumbag, son of a bitch, like, teardrop tattoo, the whole bit, you know, because he's he's a murderer, apparently. Sorry, my back's starting to hurt, I gotta reposition. So yeah. So he apparently needed a place to stay, and he has this fucking crazy-ass girlfriend named Nicole. Now, Nicole and Danny are, like, I want to say Bonnie and Clyde, but that would be an insult to Bonnie and Clyde. They were, like, disgusting, both of them. Like, they were, yeah, like, he just got out of jail, and, like, they were on the run because he beat up a teenager that wouldn't give his girlfriend the swing at the park. Like, what? They beat up a little kid. Fucking ridiculous. So anyway, they were, like, on the run because of that. Like, I guess there was a warrant or something. So they were staying with the Brooks family. And once Danny got there, it was like a light bulb in Cheri's head, because she knew that Danny would, no problem, get rid of Vera. No problem. And as they got to know Nicole, it was like, oh, this is perfect, because she'll help. They were both sick, sadistic, disgusting people. Now, once it was decided that they were going to kill Vera, now, it's said, like, that, it's possible that, like, Vera heard them planning to kill her. Poor girl was terrified, you know what I mean? Like, absolutely terrified. So, like I said, she was staying in her room, which was like a closet, like, all the time. She just wanted to be away from all of these horrible people. Zachary had started, like, sleeping with other women, and that made Vera so upset, because that was, like, her husband, you know, in a way. That's what she thought, anyway. In the beginning, she thought they were going to be a family and all of that, and this is what happens. So, yeah, so fucked up. So, she, you know, it didn't take a lot to convince Danny and Nicole to kill Vera, but, like, they told her that, Cheri told them that Vera, stole Punky's Kit Kat bar. Now that's disrespecting Punky, because, you know, his ashes needed that Kit Kat bar more than starving Vera did. You know, she ate it because she was starving. Because they fucking were starving, the poor girl. You know what I mean? Like, she ate that candy bar out of desperation, and that was part of the reason that she was going to die. And then, then the baby Willadean, she had she hit her head or something. There was like a bruise because, kids fall down all the time. But apparently they said that Vera pushed her into the coffee table. Ridiculous. And then, the big one, this one really pissed me off. Shannon, Mike's big wife. Mike, creepy, smiling Mike. His wife. On the day that Vera was murdered, she was at the hospital for something, and they told Danny and Nicole, the killers, that the reason that Shannon was in the hospital was because she had a miscarriage, because Vera sprayed pepper spray in the house. Number one, there wasn't even any pepper spray in the house. Number two, Shannon wasn't even pregnant, okay? Like, I guess Sugarbabe told her to make this up because she put it, like, on her Facebook, like, I found out I'm pregnant, and then she said that because of the pepper spray, Vera sprayed pepper spray because she's just an asshole, and everybody was choking to death, and they had to let the house air out for hours, and Shannon had a miscarriage because of Vera. So now she ate the candy bar, she hurt the baby, and she caused Shannon's baby to die that she wasn't even pregnant with. So, the day that they killed Vera, like, they absolutely tortured her so bad the whole day, okay? I'm talking like, God, I don't even want to say these things, they're so disgusting. They took a toothbrush, and they, put it in her. She had her period, and they made her brush her teeth with her blood. That right there is some sick shit. Nicole and Danny, they were peeing in cups and forcing her to drink it. They made her eat dog shit from the backyard, from the ground. Eat dog shit. Like, chew it, swallow it. They tortured her so bad that day. And they beat her up. They punched her in the face and all that stuff. And I think that's the way. Then they all went to the Salvation Army for dinner, and that's when they said she looked like she went through a windshield. Like, her lip was out to here, 2 black eyes. They beat the shit out of her. They took all her clothes off, and, like, they were, like, putting things in her, and, yeah, disgusting. Just disgusting. The story, the torture story, like, they were all telling. Each one of them was telling, like, and they all just fucking sat around and watched. Nobody stopped it. Not Shannon's fat ass. Now, Scotty, I think, was upstairs for most of it. He wasn't around, so he didn't see it. But yeah, Mike and his goofy smile was probably like, hey, that's like fucking gross. You shouldn't do that. Creepy. But apparently they all just watched. Nobody tried to stop it. Zachary probably thought it was funny, because he's always beating the shit out of Vera. So yeah, I guess, around like 9 o'clock that night, Danny told Vera, get your shoes on, and she became pretty much hysterical, because when he said that, she pretty much knew that's it. That my time's up. Because she overheard them saying they were gonna kill her, so she tried everything to not have to put her shoes on. Why do I have to put my shoes? I don't want to go. We're going for a walk, they said. We're going, and no, please, no. So I guess she probably just accepted it at that point, and she, the last thing she said was, "Goodnight, Sugarbabe," as they were walking out, because I guess Cheri says she said, "Goodnight, Vera." And she said, "Goodnight, Sugarbabe," and they walked out of the house. No, it was Nicole and Danny and Vera and Zachary. Zachary went with them. Zachary didn't stick around for the actual murder, though. I know, but they all left the house together at the same time. And they were caught on camera. The Salvation Army had a camera, so they were caught leaving the house. It's like in a single file line. And they didn't take, they only took her not very far away to like the railroad tracks, because one of their cousins was like he was like a skateboarder, and his name was Travis, and he got hit by the train, and like they were saying that when it happened, he was decapitated, and like the body was so messed up from being hit by the train that it looked like hamburger meat. That's disgusting. But like they say that repeatedly throughout this documentary about how they wanted to do this on the tracks because then they were going to leave her there, because then she'd look like hamburger meat and they wouldn't be able to tell what they did to her. That's disgusting. But so when they got to the tracks, they had taken a knife from the kitchen, like from the knife block, like a big ass, that long kitchen knife. Now, that house was disgusting. Everything in it was disgusting. Those knives were probably 70 years old and dull as fuck. Okay? So, when they went to stab poor Vera, they had to make her strip because they couldn't get the knife to go through her clothes. So they made her take all her clothes off, and they just stab, like they stabbed the shit out of her. And, I mean, Danny did most of it, and Nicole helped. I'm sure Nicole probably got a couple stabs in, but Danny slit her throat, and, they left her there on the tracks. They made sure that they laid her out on the tracks, and they left her there. And, she wasn't dead at that point. She was bleeding out and very close to dead, but she wasn't dead. Like, the last thing she was able to do was to pull herself off the actual rails, and she got into the fetal position on the wooden slats in between the rails. Now that fucked up their plan, because when the train finally did come at like 3 a.m, the conductor saw her. He saw it, and he didn't know what he thought it was a deer, like a dead deer or something. But he managed to stop the train, but not before. Now they didn't, because she wasn't on the rails. She was in the middle, and because she was so tiny from being fucking starved for so long, the train went right over her. So, you know what? Like, small miracle there. You know what I mean? Like, that was so much for their hamburger meat plan. All the evidence was right there, because she managed to get into the fetal position, and, yeah, so once the train stopped and the people on the train got out and looked under, they were, like, shocked, because there's a naked girl there. Dead, naked and bloody as hell, and dead, So, they play the 911 call in the documentary, and you can hear the guy, he's like, there's a body on the tracks, and, so, yeah, I mean, I think it was like 4 a.m. when they were knocking on the Brooks house to tell them, that Vera was dead. Yeah, and they went to Vera, of course, Vera's mom. Well, I guess Cheri had told so many people that Vera's parents were dead, which wasn't true, but, like, people started to believe it. So, like, when they found her, they went to the Brooks house to tell them. Like, that's who they went to notify, because, like, baby daddy, I guess. Now, one of the cops that was there, at the scene, found, Vera's favorite hoodie, because she was wearing it that night, and they made her take all her clothes off, so it was, like, thrown off to the side. And as he picked it up, this piece of paper fell out. And the paper was, and I like, this broke my heart. It was a note that Vera wrote to baby Willadean. And it was just, like, telling her how good she was as a baby. Like, you're such a good baby. We love you so much. I love you so much. I'm so happy that I had you. And, like, what she weighed and what time she was born. Like, that's stuff that your mom always remembers. Like, she wrote all of that. And she had it in her pocket. Like, it wasn't like, I don't think she knew You know what I mean? Like, when she wrote it and put it in her pocket, like, I think she just carried that with her all the time, because that was as close as she could get to her baby, because the bitch never let her even touch her own child. It's absolutely horrible. Now, within hours of Vera's death, Cheri's on the phone with, you know, like, children's services and shit, saying Zachary's gonna have custody because he's the father. And da-da-da-da-da. Well, they didn't like that idea because Zachary's a fucking, like, ex-con lunatic, and, yeah. So, and he's a Brooks. They all know what the Brooks are like. So, he had to go to 2 visits with the baby. Of course the baby was taken, okay? Like, social services took her. And, like, they were going to get her back as long as Zachary could go to these 2, visits, and it would be okay, like, monitored visits. The first one he went to, this baby screamed bloody murder. She would not go near him. Like, that baby stuck up for her mama. She was like, hell no. She screamed and screamed and screamed and screamed and would not go near him. So that freaked Zachary out, and he didn't show up for the second one. So baby Willadean got adopted. Thank God. Thank God. So yeah, that's pretty much the story. Danny and Nicole were both charged with murder, of course. Danny got life. Nicole got like 30 years, 32 maybe years. And everybody else that was in the house got lying to the police. And that's it. Fucking Sugarbabe should have gotten life. She planned that whole thing. She lied. Oh, you know, like, I forgot to say before, with the reasons why, you know, the candy bar, the pushing the baby into the coffee table, the, miscarriage, I forgot. They switched it up and said Vera pushed Punky at the last minute. It wasn't Heather, it was Vera. Vera wasn't even around yet, so now she also killed Punky. That's 4 things that they told Danny and Nicole to make them angry enough to kill her, apparently. They were sick anyway. Like, while they were torturing her, like the thing with the toothbrush and shit, they would stop and go upstairs and have sex, because doing this horrible shit to Vera was making them hot. Ew. Just ew. You guys, ew. So anyway, this was a long one. Thank you for staying with me, if you're still with me. I know it took forever. And yeah, I'm gonna, like, this editing is gonna take me 100 years, but I'm gonna try and get photos in here so you guys can see as I'm telling the story, you get like a visual to go with it. But yeah, check out the documentary. Like I said, it's free on YouTube. I think it's on a couple other streaming sites as well. Like, I think it started off on Prime, but yeah, it's on. And you know, it's interesting on YouTube. There's no commercials, so that's kind of cool. So anyway, that's about it for this story, and for me for today, because my throat's starting to hurt. But yeah, what do you guys think of this? Have you ever heard of this story? Like, I was shocked. I was shocked that I never heard of it, and I was shocked that something so horrible happened to this poor girl. The community, not the community, but the cemetery, one of the guys that, like, works there at the cemetery, wanted to get Vera a nicer, grave marker, so they had one donated, and it's really beautiful. Like, they have her photo on. I'll see if I can put a picture of that up as well. But at first it was just a little plaque in the ground, and this guy was like, no, she deserves. So they got a big stone. It says Vera Jo Messersmith, which I guess, I don't know, Regal Messersmith, like, they go back and forth. Like, I've heard her called both, and the mom and sister are Messersmith, so I guess that's what's on the stone. But it's got a real cute picture of Vera, and, you know, it says mother, sister, you know, etc. It's so sad. It's literally just one of the most fucked up stories I've ever heard. And, you know, for as far as true crime goes, it's definitely something I wanted to share with you guys, because wow. But yeah, let me know what you think. Hit my comments section if you want, and I'm gonna put up, of course, Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo, just in case you guys want to donate. I'm not saying you have to, but just throwing it out there, because I, again, not monetized and don't know how long it will be until I am. if I ever am. I hope, but it's probably going to take me like a year or two. I mean, like, just thinking in general, because this is very slow going. Not that I really am enjoying myself, and it's not, this isn't gonna, I'm not looking at this as a job anyway, but for now, if you want to, like, throw me $5 or something, I would very much appreciate it, and I'm gonna just put up these little thingies here for you if you want to. And other than that, I'm gonna leave you for now. Hey, look at that. I'm right at an hour. That's cool. I wanted to keep it, you know, on the short side if I could. That's a very detailed, long story, so glad I kind of got it all out there. So yeah, you guys take care. Love you. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.